Can you give a quick introduction about yourself and your role at Cost.com?
Yeah, so Kevin Delaley, President and COO of Costs. My role here is I oversee operations and marketing and e-commerce.
Can you give us some history into the company, Kevin, and what are some of the challenges that you're solving?
The company started in January of 2018 and has been around for 5 years now. And the company started as an Amazon business and evolved into an omni-channel business, having direct consumer, Amazon, and retail.
Can you touch upon some of the unique data challenges that you experience at Cost?
Yeah, when you're focusing on a single channel like Amazon, the data's, you know, a lot simpler. But when you add complexity of multiple channels like direct consumer or retail, you need to start consolidating that data into one place so you can, report on it and make smarter and faster decisions.
And before you started engaging Saras, Kevin, can you touch upon some of the data challenges that you were experiencing and how was probably in short your life before engaging us?
We had a system developed with virtual assistants, and we are using Google Sheets, and data lived in multiple places. The data we needed, like say real-time profitability, wasn't available because that took a lot of effort to combine all the data sources. And by the time you collected all the data, you were already kind of behind schedule. So, by engaging with Sarah's analytics and working with Daton to collect all of our data into one central place, it really helped us get the data consistently and in a presentation format that allowed us to, make decisions on that data versus spending all our time working on the data.
So, is it fair to say that your reporting system was completely manual, Kevin, before engaging us?
Yeah, I would say manual, fragmented, and incomplete.
Do you have a subscription flavor to your business? Can you touch upon your business model and how that works?
Yeah, so we sell organic superfood proteins and ingredients, and our products are consumable, so they have a subscription naturally as a part of our business. And so for us, it was important for us to understand what the value of our subscribers versus non-subscribers, what the churn rates were, what's causing them to drop off, and kind of using the data to help us tailor our offering with our subscription programs to do things like surprise and delight, um, tier-based discounts based on the length of the subscription, cancel flows, et cetera, that helped us really maximize the value of our subscription business.
Can you touch on some of the offline channels that you're present in?
Yeah, so the business started in 2020 in Whole Foods and is now expanded into uh, approaching 100,000 total distribution points in accounts like Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, lots of national and regional grocery. Vitamin Shop is a great partner as well. And so the brand is very well distributed. And the one thing that is challenging there is there's not very many off-the-shelf solutions that help you consolidate all your retail data, and each one of them have either daily, weekly, monthly, or quarterly reporting that you need to get from their portals and get into your data warehouse so that you can report on it. And so the other building on that, what we're trying to do is really get all of our sales data in one place so we can really understand the relationship between our investments we're making in marketing and the impacts it's having both direct and indirect with offline.
Can you maybe touch on the solution that Saras set up for you? Uh,
Yeah, so getting up and running was pretty quick because the Daton platform basically helped connect majority of our data sources that we needed. So for example, like Amazon and Shopify, we were able to quickly connect those platforms and start bolting on all of the external data like Google Ads, Meta Ads, TikTok, and others that gave us a more complete picture with our data.
Before automating this whole system, Kevin, was your reporting happening on a weekly basis, or how would you put that?
Yeah, so we had a lot of, like I said, we had a lot of Google Sheets that got into the weeds, and it was lots of data, and the VA would update it manually. Sometimes, as you know, the data changes, so you weren't necessarily getting the latest pool of all the data, because if there were any shifts in the data, it just kind of got lost. We would have that kind of roll up to leadership reporting that we would have in a Google Sheet and just track that as our weekly KPIs, looking at things like finance, operations, sales, and marketing, all kind of in one leadership KPI, sheet.
And before picking Saras, were there any third-party solutions that you had tried, Kevin? Can you touch on experience using a third-party tool which may directly connect to either Amazon or Shopify and produce out-of-the-box reporting?
Yeah, one of my favorites was Lifetimely. It kind of gave us a view into our cohort analysis, repeat purchase rates, to help us understand the lifetime value of our customers. And that's a great out of the box solution if you're just doing Shopify.
Right.
But it does have a lot of limiting factors and scaling with your business as the business grows in other channels. If it'd be nice to basically have Lifetimely for all of our business, but that's kind of what we're creating with Sarah's Analytics, is that cohort analysis with Amazon, which is a hard to come by solution, and understanding how those customers shop across Amazon and Shopify by helps us understand what's the migration of customers, and is it one way, is it two ways, do they bounce back and forth, and so getting a deeper understanding across multiple channels was really key for us, and we weren't able to achieve that with some of the off-the-shelf solutions like Lifetimely.
How long has it been, Kevin, since you've engaged us? Can you touch on how your journey has been from the starting date to now?
I think it's been around 5 or 6 months. And like I said, we were able to make some quick wins on Amazon and Shopify, because those are pretty well established data pipelines and reporting. But together we set out to do, channels like Walmart and Whole Foods and some of the other channels where we needed to set up some custom, data pipelines, and then get those into a reporting package. So overall, the team has really adopted Power BI, and it's kind of our go-to daily to get insights, whether it's we're updating demand planning to know how much we need to produce with our production schedule and purchasing schedule, or whether we're using that for our annual budget process, where we're trying to project what we're going to do for the next 3 years, using some of the trends and the data to help us drive some of those decisions. So it's really helped us save a lot of time and make a lot of better decisions, and improved our planning, over this time, just having that greater visibility on the business.
Can you touch upon the tech stack also a little bit, Kevin? You've mentioned that you use Daton as the data pipeline. Can you talk on the rest of the components?
Yeah, so we took the recommendation from Sarah's Analytics to use Daton as the data pipeline. We use Google BigQuery for the data warehouse, and we use Power BI for the presentation layer for all the reporting and dashboards.
Who are the different stakeholders within costs, Kevin, who are utilizing these dashboards? And are there any tangible benefits that you're able to see, either in terms of faster decision making or better understanding of your business?
I mean, before we had some of this retail reporting, oftentimes we'd kind of just take some of the inputs from our sales leadership on kind of what we should be doing, based on kind of their experience and knowledge of the account. However, it's important to kind of dial that in with what's actually happening and kind of finding the balance between where we think the business is going and where it's been, to understand it's grounded in solid trends and good data, so that we can make sure that we're not over or under producing for that account.
Who are the
That's
different stakeholders who are consuming these dashboards, Kevin?
Yeah, so we have demand planning / purchasing using it for that purpose. We have sales using it for tracking progress in their accounts. We've got marketing using it to see, hey, is this investment moving the needle? One thing that we've kind of started down the path of is doing geography targeted ads, so we can really hone in on a specific area and see if we were able to get lifts above and beyond kind of the control, which would be the non-advertised areas. And that's something we'll probably do a lot more of in 2023. And that's on the marketing side. And then, obviously finance, with our financial planning and analysis, it's really helped us streamline a lot of that budgeting and reporting process that comes along with finance.
I believe about 4 or 5 teams looking at the same dashboards and same numbers, Kevin. I'm assuming many of them were probably living in their own data silos in spreadsheets, right? Before consolidating all of this in one single roof. Do you see any benefits where all the teams looking at the same numbers, playing in better collaboration internally?
Yeah, there's always room for improvement. I think what's often important is kind of aligning on the single version of the truth, right?
Right.
Because if you're using one resource and someone else is using another, you might come to different conclusions, right?
Correct.
And so by centralizing and standardizing the data available to the team, it really kind of helps control the consistency of that single source of truth. So for alignment purposes, that's really important.
Going the data warehouse route is not common, right, Kevin? For brands, especially the ones who are in the growing phase. What is the tipping point for you when you decided, no, we need to have a data warehouse and consolidate all data in one channel and then build a solid data and analytics platform?
The value of the business, the more we have our data buttoned up, it increases the enterprise value of the business, right? Because the last thing you want to do is try to assemble all that at the last minute. Like, I think having the core capability that you've got a good handle on data for the business, and you can show that value to an investor, or down the road, a company that would potentially want to buy us, having all that kind of packaged up, ready to go, I think is a great value add.
And from a roadmap standpoint, you've mentioned there's currently Shopify, Amazon, and sales reporting across your offline setup. How are you looking to build on top of what is already built, Kevin? What does the roadmap look like?
We're doing deeper work on subscriptions right now. We're embracing Google Analytics 4 as they sunset Universal Analytics. So we're looking to get deeper adoption of that and kind of understand what this new events data set can unlock for us, as far as understanding the customers better. And I think there's still a lot of work to be done consolidating the data to kind of one master report that really shows the sell-through at all channels: retail, Amazon, and direct consumer. We've kind of done some great work in silos of each channel and create tools based on those data sets, but kind of standardizing that to where we can look at sell-through across the business, I think is a big next step for us.
Can you touch upon your experience working with the team, Kevin?
Working with Sarah's Analytics, we have kind of real-time support via Slack, which has been very helpful. We meet weekly with the Sales Analytics team to discuss our projects status and align on priorities, discuss any blockers to make sure that we stay on track. Overall, they've been very professional. There's a lot of different needs when you have kind of an omni-channel business. Some channels don't have, for example, an API, right?
Right.
So you have to do things like setting up Streamline, an FTP or email, solution. And Sales Analytics is somewhat of like a Swiss Army knife when it comes to creating all those data pipelines, because we can kind of have the right tool for each job.
Generally, there are concerns with an outsourced team, right? Whether they would understand your business well or not, and would they be able to contribute to your vision and direction that you want to take your data team with. Did you have any concerns there, or how did we perform in that lens?
I think there wasn't any concerns, especially for the stage of business where we're at. It would be nice to have an in-house data team with different, skill sets and proficiencies. But just, in the stage of business we're at, we don't have that luxury. So Sales Analytics kind of gave us the benefit of having a robust team with multiple areas of expertise, but, kind of with a single expense line versus, having a team that we're having to manage and hire, and it gave us a lot more results with less effort.
Finally, would you recommend us? And if so, why would you recommend Saras Analytics, Kevin?
Yeah, I would absolutely recommend Sales Analytics. Our experience has been great with them, and we have been able to achieve a lot in a very little amount of time. And again, it's kind of cheaper and faster than trying to do it on your own, building out a team from scratch. So it was kind of plug and play, and we got much faster results with the turnkey solution.
Cool.